Suspicion grows in Emmerdale next week when Joe Tate unexpectedly shows kindness to Lydia Dingle. The character, known for his manipulative behaviour, makes the surprising gesture after Butler's farm changes ownership. Recent episodes showed Moira Dingle transferring the property to the Tates, and it has now been revealed that Joe eventually gives control of the farm to Robert Sugden and his partner Aaron Dingle. Viewers will soon watch the Dingle family begin a new chapter at the Woolpack. However, they remain cautious when Joe arrives, apologises to Lydia for the recent conflict between them, and even offers her a salary increase. Joe's mother Kim is also doubtful about his sudden generosity, though she does not realise that he has uncovered something significant. A source from the show hinted that Joe seldom acts without a hidden reason. When he extends a friendly gesture to Lydia, some people start to believe he may be trying to repair the strained relationship between the Tate and Dingle families. Lydia has served Kim faithfully at Home Farm for many years. However, unknown to everyone else, Joe has recently learned an important secret that is influencing his current actions. The question now is what he plans to do and how Lydia is connected to it. One person who fully understands the situation is Joe's returning adoptive father, Graham Foster. When he confronts Joe with complete awareness of his plan, Joe must decide how to respond. At the same time, the loss of Butler's farm marks a major turning point for Moira and her family, but it also opens the door to a fresh beginning for Robert and Aaron. The Sugden family has always been a central part of the village's history, as they were the original farming family when the show first began. This return to the farm's heritage reflects the early storylines when Annie Sugden and her sons, Jack and Joe, worked the land. Now, as the grandson takes over the tenancy, he hopes to succeed and honour his father. Together with his devoted partner Aaron, the couple are ready to embrace this new stage and work hard to make the farm successful. Farming continues to play an important role in the village, bringing daily drama and rural life to viewers. Graham faced anger from Rona after spending the night with Kim. Graham had to deal with the aftermath of his choices when Rona found out that he had a one-night encounter with Kim. Deeply hurt, Rona decided she would now focus on her husband Marlon, but moving on from Graham might not be as simple as she hopes. In the previous episode of the ITV drama, Graham asked Rona to meet him at the footbridge so they could talk about what their future might look like. When she failed to appear, he tried to forget his disappointment by drinking with his former wife Kim, and the evening eventually led to them sleeping together. What Graham didn't realise was that Rona had actually intended to meet him, but got delayed because of her daughter Ivy. The latest episode began with Graham noticing several missed calls from Rona, after which he told Kim regretfully that their passionate night had been a mistake. Kim remained calm and admitted that what happened between them was simply a one-time event that should never happen again, and the two then went their separate ways. Later, however, she admitted to Lydia that being close to Graham once more had felt completely right. She explained that she wasn't suggesting they could immediately return to their old relationship, but when they were alone together, it felt as though they had never been apart. Kim also revealed that Graham had quickly distanced himself after reading Rona's messages. She warned that if Graham believed he could use her and then walk away without consequences, he clearly didn't understand her at all. Meanwhile, Rona told Graham why she had missed their meeting at the bridge and proposed that they meet again later for lunch. When Lydia noticed them speaking, she informed Rona that Graham had slept with Kim and encouraged her to concentrate on her marriage instead. Rona angrily confronted Graham and firmly stated that she wanted nothing further to do with him. She accused him of misleading her and insisted that her only concern now was Marlon. She bluntly told him that she no longer cared about him at all and that he could be with anyone he wanted because it meant nothing to her. Later on, Rona admitted to Vanessa that Graham's actions had upset her, but she claimed that she was now determined to focus on the happy life she shared with Marlon. Still, the question remains whether she can truly ignore the emotions she once had for Graham. The police return for Bear as his troubling situation grows worse. Paddy went to see Bear during tonight's episode, but the reason for his visit was quite unexpected. Bear has recently been staying in a mental health facility while he recovers from the traumatic experience he endured at the farm. The ordeal left him deeply shaken, and he strongly believed that entering the unit was the best decision for his well-being. Soon after Paddy came back from taking Bear to the facility, he spoke about the ongoing investigation into Ray Walters' death. Although Paddy had managed to stop Bear from being arrested again by admitting him to the hospital, DS Walsh revealed that once Bear leaves the unit, he will be taken back into custody. Mandy and Dylan began to wonder if spending enough time in the mental health unit might change the outcome of the case. They suggested that the CPS could possibly decide Bear is not mentally fit to stand trial and therefore drop the accusations. This idea stayed on Paddy's mind as he later went to the hospital to check on Bear. The former professional wrestler appeared much healthier than he had just weeks earlier. Even though he still had his thick beard, his calmer attitude and confidence showed that the therapy sessions were having a positive effect. Bear shared this improvement with Paddy, yet he seemed confused when Paddy hinted that the doctors should not notice how much better he was getting. Paddy warned him that if he were discharged, DS Walsh would quickly return and he would be forced to face a murder charge. However, Bear's clearer mindset meant he was finally able to express his own thoughts and make decisions about his future. He told Paddy that he had no intention of avoiding the fight ahead before leaving for another therapy appointment. Later that evening, Bear returned home. Sadly, the family's reunion was short-lived because DS Walsh soon arrived again to take him to the police station. Paddy, Mandy, and Dylan were heartbroken by the situation, but Bear appeared determined and prepared to face the challenge that lay ahead. The police return for Bear as his troubling situation grows worse. Paddy went to see Bear during tonight's episode, but the reason for his visit was quite unexpected. Bear has recently been staying in a mental health facility while he recovers from the traumatic experience he endured at the farm. The ordeal left him deeply shaken, and he strongly believed that entering the unit was the best decision for his well-being. Soon after Paddy came back from taking Bear to the facility, he spoke about the ongoing investigation into Ray Walters' death. Although Paddy had managed to stop Bear from being arrested again by admitting him to the hospital, DS Walsh revealed that once Bear leaves the unit, he will be taken back into custody. Emmerdale airs on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.